So hey guys, we're here. We're at a secret location, non-disclosable. All I can say is where we are fishing is a well-known pond for fishing. It's not been fished in approximately 7 years, so we've been given the rights to fish it today. And I'm just here with a good friend from Chris Outdoors.
Hi guys.
Right, Chris, do you want to just talk to me what we're going to actually be doing and how we're going to be fishing it today?
Just using some red and white maggot, size 12 hook. Just a simple slider type setup. It's called a dibber float, but we can adjust that on some rubber grommets and just have a wet our line and just see if anything comes through. We've just thrown about 10-12 maggots in, just try and get them feeding. It might be a little bit chilly, but see how it goes.
But you used to fish this in your heyday, didn't you, Chris?
I did.
And what was it like in its heyday?
It was mega, but that was like the pole fishing, match fishing sort of scene. Well, if you remember, I was googling it to see what fish was in here.
Yeah.
And come across an article with me in it.
So we've got red and white maggot, and we've also got some sweet corn. So we're gonna give it a go. We're gonna see what comes out. Like I say, this hasn't been fished for a good six to 7 years. So I'm just gonna step out of Chris's way, and we'll see what comes up. So we'll come back to you if we get a bite. Cheers, guys. So right, I've come back to Chris and we're just going to ask Chris a few questions. So Chris, what's your most memorable moment of your fishing career?
Oh, bloody hell. Most memorable? I'd probably say one of two times. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera, I'm watching flow. I was fishing Newport under the M62, there's like the Market Wheaton Canal, and I just had a real light little jelly lord and just casting away. Used to catch little perch and stuff, and I got one about 2.5–3 pound, and it was like your heart just sinks, you know, because you're on very light tackle. Another one was probably my personal best pike, which I can't actually remember the name of the pond. I think it's called Blue Lagoon. It used to be part of the, oh, I can't even think what they're called. Do you know the motorway pond? When you go down the A63, there's a big pond on your left. They've got three ponds. One's Brickyard.
One's got, don't they use it for diving? One for diving?
No, that's the other side of the road. I'm sure they call it Blue Lagoon. And I've got a big picture of a pike, and that was about £20, something like that. But you just catch them at the most. You're just not expecting it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
you might have been fishing for 5 or 6 hours, and then it just takes you low and just all goes out the window. It's just amazing.
See, this has opened my eyes up to a different aspect of fishing. Obviously, my forte is beach fishing, and I've not done any coast fishing. I've had a friend who took me before, but you know, just to have light gear like this and be pulling what, £20 carpet on light gear, yeah, it's astounding. But
it's all about just tiring them out, isn't it? You know, bringing them to you a bit, let them run, let them come back, let them run, bring them back in. Just net them when they're ready. You know, you don't have to rush it. You ain't got a £1 cod on, you know, with £80 beach fishing gear. You know,
you see, it makes me laugh. I had this conversation with my friend the other day. He's just bought a reel off me. They're on about leader, and I'm like, I've never used a leader of all the years that I've fished, and I've pulled in £20, £16 smooth edge, you know, off a beach. And as long as you know what you're doing, and it's like they're going, oh yeah, but it helps when you cast that whip. But if you're snapping line when you're casting out, you're doing something wrong. You're seriously doing something wrong.
Well, the braking strain's not there, or there's not any stretch in your line, or like, is that on braid or?
No, You see, I've never used braid. I've used mono all my life. I've never used braid. I use multipliers, so I tend to using braid when you cast out, because the spool's running that fast, it tends to burn your thumb. So I tend to just use mono. But we've all done it. We've all gone for this massive cast because you wanted to get as far out as you possibly can. But I just don't get. It just amazes me how you can pull in such size fish on such light gear. It's just the technology as well. I think in rods has changed from back in the day when I was a kid. You know,
glass fibre.
It's just amazing. But yeah, so
I mean, some of my, in spinning terms, you'll get something like a 0 to 6 gram spinning rod, 10 to 20 grams, so that's the size of your weight.
Yeah.
But I have a 0 to 6, it's a really light spinning rod, but I've had pike 10-15 pound.
Yeah.
And I mean, this rod, you'd think it'd snap, it'll double over. You know, before it snaps, it's unbelievable. But that's what makes catching, when you're catching the smaller ones on those, makes it more of a fight and more fun. But that's maybe £6 line straight through to a little low. You know, if they get too big, I've had it where they come back and the hook's bent out.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause it's just only a bit of wire.
Well, just like I said, it astounds me of like how you can pull in such big stuff on such light gear.
Yeah.
So what reel are you using at the minute, Chris?
It's a Adcock Stanton.
That's a centre pin reel.
That's a centre pin, yeah. Yeah, Adcock Stanton centre pin, made in Nottingham, and that's it's either a 4.5 inch, which I hope it is because that's the rare one, or 5 inch.
Yeah. And what rod are you using?
That is an Akuma Carbonite. Casting weight on that's 25 grams. Nice. So it's like, I'd class that as a heavy float rod, really.
Yeah.
We're using size 12 barbless, a couple of maggots, a dibber float just to see if we can see any action. But you know what I mean, it's spitting, it's raining, that can be good. Overcast can be alright on a summer's day, because it just takes that glare off the water and the fish can't see you as good. But we had that steady temperature, it was getting to like 10 degrees one day.
Yeah.
And then it's just gone, the last 2 days, boom, cold snap again. The fish could all be in the centre, you know, at the deepest part, just keeping warm. Or warmer.
Well, what we'll do, we'll leave it at that, and then we'll, like I say, I've just baited another area up for you, and we'll go and check that out in the next 10 or 15 minutes if you fancy that.
Get any fish or anything, we can bring it back, can't we?
Yeah, right. I'll leave it with you guys. Right, so we've now moved on to a second spot. We've baited the first spot. We're now just baited the second spot, but we've just seen some rises in the water. So we're hoping this is going to be a good spot. Again, using some red and white maggot, and we're just fishing into that little bit there. So we'll fetch you back if there's any action. So I'm just stood under a tree, trying to keep dry as Chris is fishing. We just had 2 bites in the space of literally a minute of each other, but didn't quite catch them. So we're just going to hang about now and stick to this 4th peg, because we seem to be doing pretty good here.